Hello YouTubers, my name is Darth Jard and this will be my first video. Now I'm here to talk to you guys about Star Wars, but my topic today will be about a specific character. Now that character is Finn. Now there's a lot of controversy over Finn about whether he's force sensitive or not, but everyone needs to realize that he is force sensitive. There's all different kinds of, hints in the movie. Now I've watched a lot of different videos on Finn and him being force sensitive and him not being force sensitive just because people don't want him to be. And I've collected all that information and I'm ready to make my own video, so here we go. Kylo Ren sensed him in the beginning of the movie, all because of the fact that he broke through the Force. Now, when I say that, I mean when his friend had died, for some reason it activated in him or something, and he just said, yeah, this isn't for me. I need to get out of here because, the First Order is evil. All they are is evil. Now, the reason Kylo Ren didn't say anything or do anything about it, that's all on him. For all we know, he was just completely and totally too obsessed with finding Luke to even care about possibly trying to train him. I mean, he offered to train Rey, but he obviously sensed how powerful she was, and maybe it was due to the fact that there's too much light in Finn. I mean, the guy was raised from, I don't know, like 3 years old to be a stormtrooper, to say, if I have to, I will die for the First Order because that is what's right. That's what I've been taught. Now, he's the only one out of all of these people that were kidnapped from birth, not volunteers, but kidnapped from birth, and he's the only one that for some reason has a so-called free will to, break out of that brainwashing. No, there is no free will in the First Order. You are compelled to do what they want. You are brainwashed. There's nothing else to it. Now, the reason Finn got out of that, like I said, is because he broke through with the Force. The Force just opened up in him, and there you go. Now, his Stormtrooper designation is FN-2187. That's the same cell number as Leia in A New Hope. I'm pretty sure, of course, you all heard this reason as well, but, that's there. And the fact that also not FN, my bad. 2187 was a movie that inspired George Lucas to create Star Wars in the first place, the whole idea for the Force. So that has some merit in there too. Now, another thing that has merit is the fact that he used guns on that TIE Fighter and the Millennium Falcon. He got like a 10-second lesson on how to use the guns on the TIE Fighter, and no real lessons on how to use the guns on the Millennium Falcon. And yet he may have missed quite a few times, but he got shots in. Now, I don't know if, someone picking up that kind of stuff quickly means that they're force sensitive. I would say yes, because a lot of people that were force sensitive were prone to picking up things just like that very quickly. Now, you would need training to be able to hit targets as well as he did, and he didn't get any training with those ships. So yeah, there's that too. And of course, the very most famous reason of all, the fact that Finn heard those screams of the Hosnian system getting destroyed. Finn most definitely heard those screams, because there's no denying it. I mean, you watch that movie, you hear the screams, you see only Finn turn around. Only Finn, the two guys that he was with going on to that ship, did not turn around for whatever reason. You heard people scream. He heard people screaming for their lives, that they were in danger, that there was imminent death coming. And you mean to tell me those guys didn't want to turn around to see what those screams were? Oh wait, that's right, because they weren't hearing those screams. It was only Finn. Just like only Obi-Wan heard screams in A New Hope when Alderaan was destroyed. Like I said, this is the most famous reason of all, but there's no reason to deny it. I don't know why people want to deny it, but that's just because they don't want Finn to be force sensitive. They feel that only Rey and Luke can be force sensitive. But, it was okay in the prequels when there was all different kinds of creatures and people that were force sensitive. And, back then that's fine, but I guess now it's not for whatever reason. But people were okay with Luke having a Jedi Order that was destroyed by Kylo Ren. They were fine with the fact there was more Jedi then. So why don't people want more Jedi now? I don't friggin' understand. Having Finn as a Jedi in Episode 8, or even just tap into somewhat of his power in Episode 8 would be nice. To make sure that there's more Jedi lined up. Because there's always going to be people who use the Force for evil and the Force for good. And clearly Finn is good. Now, he also made sure that he used a lightsaber without getting a limb cut off from himself. I mean, people love to say, oh yeah, Han used a lightsaber to cut open a tauntaun. He didn't try to fight a Force user. Now, Cad Bane had used lightsabers before, but he was quickly put in his place. General Grievous used lightsabers. He was not Force sensitive as well. But he was also pretty much a friggin' robot. I mean, the guy had 4 different arms he could use for the lightsabers. I mean, and he learned from Count Dooku, so there's no real saying, oh yeah, anyone can just use a lightsaber. Yeah, if you have a lot of time on your hands to friggin' train to make sure you don't cut off any limbs, because that's what will happen. Now, Maz gave Finn that lightsaber for what reason? Not just to give it to Rey, but also to defend himself, because Finn did not have a blaster, and you do not hand a lightsaber to just any person saying, oh yeah, you'll do fine, you might as well be killing them yourself, because there's no way they're going to win a fight if they are not able to handle it. It doesn't matter if, they're a somewhat good swordsman to begin with. Even if Finn did get some melee training, as they like to say, from the book before the movie, yeah, even if he did get some kind of training with some type of weapon that way, it still doesn't equal up to how he was able to last so long against Kylo Ren as well. There's no way Kylo Ren was toying with him because he's unstable. He gets mad very easy. Why would he want to toy with a traitor? Wouldn't he want to kill him as soon as possible? I mean, the anger you saw in his face when he looked at Finn after he killed Han, you saw that anger in his face after he killed Han and he saw Finn. You could see how mad he was. And then when they met up again on the snow, he was mad. He screamed traitor as if Finn friggin' broke his heart. Finn might as well have broken Kylo Ren's heart just then, okay? Now, that, if you ask me, that's because he could have been used in the First Order as one of the Knights of Ren. Now, there's different stuff in the EU that people love to pull apart and try to say that other people are Force sensitive for whatever reason, like Poe. Poe is not Force sensitive. Maybe he is, I'll give him that, because in the EU, his mom was given a Force sensitive tree by Luke, and yes, maybe growing up near that could give some type of Force abilities, maybe not. But just because he's a badass pilot does not mean he is Force sensitive. I mean, maybe J.J. Abrams was like, you know what? It's about time that the Resistance, and just like in the Clone Wars, they got a pilot that was badass that was not Force sensitive. I mean, it's not fair to constantly have all these Resistance fighters flying around getting killed while they're all just sitting there saying, oh, we need Luke Skywalker to come and blow up the Death Star for us only. I'm sorry, Luke, but you know what? It shouldn't be all about you. It shouldn't be all about only Force users. Maybe we're going to get a Resistance pilot that's not just there to get friggin' shot down for someone else to come actually be the hero. That's what Poe is for. He's finally there to be that normal guy that's badass. Finn, he's not going to be that guy. Finn is Force sensitive. Now get over it. It's not fair that people want to pull that kind of EU stuff out because, like I've said before, I watched a lot of videos on Finn, and there's a video from this Urban Acolyte, Prince. He did a video on Finn could be Luke's son. Now, this is stuff straight from the EU as well. Straight in the comic books. You can even watch Urban Acolyte's video. Like I said, Urban Acolyte has a video that Finn could be Luke's son. Now, of course, a lot of people don't want this to be true. Why? Because, Luke can't have a black son. You know, only Mace Windu could have a black son, or Lando Calrissian? No. No, that's not true. We all know that genetics is crazy, and there could be two black people having a baby, and that baby comes out white. People have seen that. You know? So let's just be real about that. Finn could be Luke's son as far as we know, and Luke doesn't know about it. And there's other characters from the EU that Finn could possibly be, like Finn Geldrifian. He was a prince on a planet that Luke had later found to be Force sensitive, and then started training him to be a Jedi. And then there's another character from the EU, Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn was a stormtrooper that had abandoned the Empire, and then became a mercenary, and then later found out he was Force sensitive, and then he had later trained with Luke to become a Jedi Master as well. Now, if you ask me, these two characters right here fit perfectly for Finn, because one's name is actually Finn, and then another, well, did pretty much the exact same thing that Finn did. He rebelled against the Empire. Finn rebelled against the First Order. Now, I'm pretty sure eventually Finn will meet up with Luke Skywalker, and Luke will say, hey, we need to teach this guy. You know? So, and then of course the post that John Boyega himself, the man playing Finn, he had posted a picture of him in, you know, some type of training gear. I watched this, like I said, I watch videos, so in one of these videos, it was a picture of Finn dressed up in training gear, and he was, I don't know, wearing some type of gloves, and there were some symbols on it that meant Aikido. Now, Aikido is a sword, right? Or is it Kendo? I can't friggin' remember. Either way, it's a sword fighting style that lightsaber fighting is based off of. Now, if you guys don't want to take that into merit, that's because you're just living in denial. You seriously must not want Finn to be a Jedi if the fact that other people have seen this picture and said, okay, there's symbols on his gloves. Let me take the time to figure out what that means, because it's in Chinese. Okay, it means Kendo or Aikido or whatever. And that's for the type of, that's a sword fighting style. Why would Finn be learning, you know, how to fight? Like, why would he be training in Kendo or Aikido if he's not going to hold the lightsaber once again? There is no point in that. There is no reason for him to post that picture. Like, why would, is like, you know, Ryan Johnson saying, hey, you know, post this picture and make people go crazy over the fact that you might be learning how to fight with a sword. You know, that would really drive people crazy. No, there's no reason for that. John Boyega himself posts that picture to let people know that, yes, he will be holding a lightsaber again. Because so many people want to tell him that he can't be a Jedi. Well, no, he can be a Jedi. There's not only Luke Skywalker and any other Skywalker, like Skywalker bloodline. It's not all about the Skywalker bloodline. It's about the Force finally being put into balance. But anyway, I'll let me get back to Finn. Now, there's no character arc. My bad, hold on. John Boyega had also posted the fact that, you know, people were expecting him to be all extra badass in episode 7, to be doing flips and tricks and cutting motherfuckers down like it's nothing. But he didn't. He said it was hard to be led by fear and to hold back as much as he had to. Right? Now, recur to the fact that he said people were expecting for him to be a badass and for there to be acrobatics. Now, what fight was Finn in exactly first when, you know, there could be acrobatics? Now, when you think about it, it's the fight at Maz's temple when he was fighting that stormtrooper. Am I wrong? No, I'm not, because he was always in a ship when there was other shit going down. Thank you very much. So yes, John Boyega was referring to the fact that he did not completely destroy that traitor stormtrooper. Okay? That's what he was referring to. You guys need to open up your eyes and ears. It's very clear. You just need to see it. Why would he say that if that's not what it's about? What else is it about? What else could it possibly be about? Obviously, it's about either that fight or the fight with Kylo Ren. I mean, you don't see Resistance fighters shooting around blasters and flipping around and whatnot. No. Jedis and Sith do that. They be flipping around and jumping around and all that kind of acrobatic stuff. So yeah, that's why you guys need to realize, yes, Finn will become a Jedi, and who knows, maybe he won't become a full-on Jedi. Maybe he'll think that the Jedi ways are not exactly for him, but the light side is. But anyway, there would be absolutely no character arc for Finn, for him to, oh, you're going to be a sanitation person in the First Order, and hey, you know what? Let's write in that he's going to become an awesome resistance fighter. Yeah, that's great character arc. What, at least he'll be high ranking in the resistance? Nah, fuck that. That's so fucking stupid. What, because he's black he can't be a Jedi? Like, I'm sorry, but that's on the real. You guys are just only thinking about his skin color. Because if you look at the prequels, how many black people are around? One. How many black people held a lightsaber in the prequels? One. And that was Mace Windu, aka Samuel Jackson. Okay, now back to Finn. There would be absolutely no character arc for him if he were to only become an awesome resistance fighter. If they want to make Finn a real hero, he will end up becoming slowly a Jedi, hopefully. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it. This movie is called The Force Awakens, am I wrong? So, when did The Force awaken exactly? Was it when we first saw Rey, like her and her goggles and masks? No. Was it when Rey went to go get food from Unkar Plutt and, she got a shitty result from that? No, it wasn't then. Was it when she was eating her food, maybe? Oh, wait, no. Was it when she met BB-8? I don't think so. Was it when she finally met Finn? Maybe. That could honestly be a possibility. I didn't even think of that one. It could be when she had met Finn, or maybe it's the fact that when Finn decided, okay, I'm not shooting these guys anymore, that's when the Force awakened. When Finn's friend died and he wiped his bloody hand across his face, his helmet, Finn panicked. Like, he didn't panic, but something hit him on the inside and you could tell. That's why he was looking around as if he didn't even know where he was, and then he saw everything that was going on. It was too much. So clearly, Kylo Ren sensed him, not just because of him being frightened and not shooting at anyone, it was because he had awakened. Now, if Rian Johnson has any brains in his mind whatsoever, this is exactly how he will write it. That Finn's already awoken from his coma. Like they said, it's starting right from episode 7, right from the end. So what we need to see is Rey get some training from Luke, of course, and then see Rey construct her very own lightsaber. Okay? And then what we need to see is Finn possibly learning from Maz, whatever she can teach him for now to help out Finn, And then, of course, like I said, I've seen lots of videos and plot leaks, and there's one particular thing that I find funny is that a lot of these plot leaks center around the fact that Snoke is going to be at this final battle with Kylo Ren, with Benicio del Toro's character. That could be Elder Ezra, Darth Vaughn, or whatever people are saying. But either way, Benicio del Toro will be a Sith, and he will be at this fight scene. Now, they say that it will be Luke and Rey fighting Kylo Ren and Benicio del Toro's character, while Snoke just watches and he gets tired of it and takes over her mind. Now, this is something that I would love to see come true, because we've never seen someone's mind been taken over completely by a Force user, and that could be a whole new feat that we've never seen before. And then also in these plot leaks, Finn always comes in and Luke throws him his old lightsaber, aka Anakin's lightsaber, and he fights Vaughn and then ends up killing him. Now, obviously, the only way that could happen is if he had gotten some prior training, or he's just, starting to finally come into his Force-sensitive self. Now, for all of you viewers out there, I would want you to sit down and really think about Finn being Force-sensitive. Get used to that fact, because there is really no other way to go about it. Finn is Force-sensitive. Rian Johnson, if he's smart, like I said, he will make sure he writes that in there for this movie because there's no other way to go about it, you know? And, if you like the video or not, I don't really care. I'm putting this out there because like I said, I've watched a lot of videos on this, and I'm pissed off about the fact that people want to say that Finn's not force sensitive when there's too much evidence that he is. And the fact that people want to try to put Poe as force sensitive before Finn, all because he's a good pilot. You can be a good pilot without being force sensitive. I mean, all you have to do is train, right? All you have to do is actually, be good at being a pilot. I mean, in Star Wars Rebels, there's Hera. She's a very good pilot, and yet she's not force sensitive. Am I wrong? Check out the TV show Star Wars Rebels and watch Hera. You'll see. She's a pretty damn good pilot, and yet she's not force sensitive. Or unless they're going to reveal that she is. Who knows? But yeah, guys. Don't care if you like my video. Don't care if you subscribe. This is a video just to get people's perspectives right on Finn himself as a character in Star Wars. That he will be a Jedi at some point. Whether it's in this trilogy or another trilogy. Finn is a Jedi. Get over it. And no, he is not related to Mace Windu just because he's black. Okay? Get that through your head. Bye.